Thank you. I'll be sharing with you some verses from the scriptures, and we'll have a discussion on them. And they are very interesting, thought-provoking verses. It will be fun. So I solicit your attention, and please join me in the prayers first, and then we will have a discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudhirayet nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati ruttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Namo Pankaja Nabhaya Namo Pankaja Maline Namo Pankaja Netraya Namaste Pankajangre Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptan sanjivayata kila shakti dhara swadhamna Anyam Shahasta Charana Shravana Tvagadin Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Katanchana Smrite Yasmin Duskaram Sukaram Bhavet Vismrite Viparitam Sya Sri Chaitanya Namamitam Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss this is from the Upanishads. This is a verse which Srila Prabhupada would quote many times. And I'm going to chant this verse. So I request you to repeat after me. Simple. I'll break it down so that you can respond. So before we chant this verse, I'll give you a context. Once Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk with his disciples in California, I think near Stowe Lake. The lake had become ice because of the freezing winter. Srila Prabhupada suddenly walked towards the lake, the center of the lake, towards the lake with his walking stick. And he started hitting the ice and breaking the ice. Devotees were puzzled. They were wondering why Srila Prabhupada breaking the ice. And then Srila Prabhupada looked at all the devotees because he broke the ice and then water came out. He said, "This is my job." Devotees said, "What is it, Prabhupada?" Srila Prabhupada said, "This is my job, to break the artificial covering, ice-like covering, and allow the natural water-like state to come out." Srila Prabhupada said, "My preaching, my presentation of Krishna consciousness sometimes appears strong. It's hard-hitting, but I'm doing this to break the hard, artificial, ice-like barrier, which is preventing the soul, which in its natural state is a lover of God, from blossoming. So I want the soul to be in its natural state, but our artificial imposition covers it." So this is the context. Krishna consciousness is a natural position of the living entity. We are natural lovers of God. It's very natural for us to love God, just like it's natural for water to be liquid. But thanks to so many impressions that we have gathered, our natural position is covered, like water is covered with ice. And the presentation of philosophy in the Upanishads, in the scriptures, is meant to break that barriers. So this is a verse which I'm going to quote now. This is a verse which has transformed the lives of thousands of spiritual seekers. India is a very spiritual place, and in India there are some places which are extremely vibrant with spiritual energy. Rishikesh, have you heard of Haridwar, Ayodhya, Vrindavan, Chitrakoot? If you go to these places, you will find many Babajis, sadhus there. And you ask them, "Babaji, how did you become a renunciant? How did you leave everything?" There are many ashramas where many spiritual leaders, they'll tell you that when they were young men or women, they heard this verse, which I'm going to quote now. And when they heard the meaning, the import of this verse, they were so stunned by the power of that verse that they left everything. They left home and earth and they went on a spiritual quest. This shloka, this verse, had a profound impact on their consciousness. So I'm kind of building up the suspense, trying to make you interested, curious to know what is this verse which had such an impact. So we'll chant this verse and I'll explain the meaning, and then we'll see how it had impacted so many people. This is from Katha Upanishad. Srila Prabhupada would quote this verse many times in the Bhagavad Gita and other places. Katha Upanishad is one of the principal Upanishads, which is the sacred text in the Vedic literature. It has 6 sections. The first section, Yamaraj is talking to Nachiketas. The third chapter, text number 14. Please repeat. Uttishtata jagrata prapya varanibodata kshurasya dhara nishita duratyaya durgam patastat Kavayo vadanti. These are the 3 lines in this verse. The first line says, Uttishtata, wake up, wake up. Uttishtata, get up. Jagrata, wake up. Uttishtata jagrata prapya varanibodata. Wake up, get up, because you have got a great blessing. This is the first line. Can anybody guess what is the hidden import or purport of this first line? The first line says, get up, wake up, you've got a great blessing. What does that mean? You've got the great blessing of a human form of life, where you have the ability to inquire, where you have the ability to understand higher truths. So the scriptures is imploring its readers and hearers, wake up, get up. You've got a great blessing. And what is understood is the blessing is a human form of life. This is the first line. Uttishtata jagrata prapya varani bodhata. Then you may say, okay, I'm interested in spiritual life. Now what? The second line is scary. The second line says, Shurasya dhara nishita duratyaya. This path is like a razor's edge. It's like an edge of a sword, very sharp, very, very difficult. Duratyaya, almost impossible to practice. Durgam patastat kavayo vadanti. Great, great philosophers and seekers have said this is a difficult path. So come, join us in this path. And young men and women would read this or hear this and they were inspired to leave everything and embark on a spiritual journey. I think many of us find it strange. Oh, difficult. So challenging. And people leave everything to embark on this path. Nowadays, when we are preaching, what do we tell people? Come to Hare Krishna because it's very easy. Just chant Hare Krishna, take prasad, Hari Bol, no problems. Just chant. It's an easy path, easy path. Come, 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 come. Mahaprabhu has given very easy path. But traditionally, spiritual life was presented as something very exciting and challenging. And young men and women were excited to embark on this path because I don't want to be mediocre. I want to find out what is the truth. But now, Kali Yuga, we are so dull-headed. We are so beaten and battered and bruised by the indefatigable material energy. We are like, give me something easy. Give me something simple. I am so busy watching Netflix whole night. I have no energy to practice spiritual life. Give me prasad. But that's not the way spiritual life was till recently. So those who practice spiritual life were seekers. They wanted to know the truth. Even till recently, many of these ashramas you go in holy places, you will see, they catch interested people. In the sense, they have their ashramas, they have their philosophy, they have their preachers. They don't go and break their heads on people. People who are interested come there, read, join, follow the path. They catch interested people. But Srila Prabhupada is a revolutionary. What he did, he created interest in people. There is a big difference between the two paths. One is to catch interested people. Those who are interested in spiritual life, they will come, they will join, they will chant. But to create interest in people is an altogether different ball game. So Srila Prabhupada was a genius, he did that. And nowadays I see, in 21st century, 2024, it's so difficult. I know preachers who are not even catching interested people. They're not even creating interest in people. They are taking care of people's interests. Somebody is disturbed, just placate him. Tell him, don't worry, mollycoddle him or her. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Krishna loves you. Just take care of them. So we are so disconnected from a spiritual path. But the Upanishads are saying, come on, get excited. This is challenging. Join. So when we read these verses, the Upanishads are filled with these kind of verses. It's supposed to inspire us. It's supposed to motivate us. Please know, spiritual life is a difficult path. Srila Prabhupada said, spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. It's difficult. So let us not have illusions about, I come to spiritual life, now everything will be rosy, hanky-dory. No, it's going to be challenging. Because we are going against the flow of material energy. Srila Prabhupada said, practicing Krishna consciousness is a declaration of war against the material energy. We are embarking on a journey, we are challenging the material energy. So we need to be in the mood of a warrior. And that excitement will help us understand deeper truths. If you're looking for something comfortable, easy, then we will become comfort seekers. When you are comfort seeking, you are experience deprived. And if you are experience seeking, you will be comfort deprived. So who are you? Are you comfort seeking or experience seeking? If you're seeking experience, you need to get up a little early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, come on weekends to the temple, take part in chanting, do seva, give up some comfort and connect with the Lord. And then you experience the Lord's presence in your life. This is the spiritual path. This is where Srila Prabhupada is inviting us. So, in Krishna consciousness, when we are new, please understand we are in one of the three spaces. Some of us want easy spirituality. Tell me something very easy. And we equate an easy or something very superficial to spiritual experiences. No. There is easy space and there is experience space. Deep spiritual experiences. In between there is effort, there is endeavor, there is struggle. Spiritual life is not stimulation. People want a kick. They want to be stimulated. There is a difference between stimulation and satisfaction. Satisfaction is a much deeper experience. In between stimulation and satisfaction, there is struggle. There is an endeavor. So in Hare Krishna movement, we all chant every day fixed number of rounds on the japa beats. We serve devotees. We listen Bhagavatam classes like you're hearing now. And when we go through this process, we connect with the Lord. And unfortunately or fortunately, we are living at a time when people are disconnected from themselves to such an extent that it becomes very difficult to present these verses. I can't imagine speaking this verse to a group of new students in college, telling them, come to spiritual life. It's a very difficult path. How many of you are interested? Come. Not everybody will sign up. Because we are caught up in a reality which is very temporary and ephemeral. See, there are two realities. One is physical reality. What is the physical reality? Anybody? Any answers? What is the physical reality? When we talk about physical reality, what do we mean? Something observable. This is physical. This microphone is a part of physical reality. This building, this body itself. Anything that has a beginning and an end is physical reality. This watch, at one point of time, didn't exist. And maybe after a few years, it will cease to exist. It will just mix with the earth. This microphone won't exist one day. This body itself has a beginning and an end. So anything which has a beginning and an end is part of physical reality. So we are all, the whole material creation here is part of physical reality. But there is a reality which has no beginning and no end. It always exists, and that is called metaphysical reality. I'll give an example. Has anyone here ever been to a mountain area or on ocean side or a forest where you felt suddenly a deep sense of peace? Anybody? Thank you. So many of you have been to nature and you felt a sense of belongingness and peace. You know why you felt that? Because the forest, the mountains, the oceans, they have a long, long, long life. It seems they have been there forever. And when you enter that space, there is something within you which has also always been there. There is something within this body which also has never died. It's always been there. And when there is a meeting of this reality within us and this reality outside of us, which is also eternal, there is this oneness. That is the soul experience, spiritual experience, because you are connecting to a metaphysical reality. When everything is finished, there is something that remains. So traditionally, spiritual life, preaching meant pushing people from physical reality to metaphysical reality. Telling them, come on, Forget about this temporary eating, sleeping, sex life and defending. Forget this physical reality. Come on, rise to the metaphysical space. That was spiritual life. That was preaching. But today what has happened? Today people are not even in the physical reality. Where are they living in? Virtual reality. They are living in this world where they have, what is this called? Smartphone. And they see something on the screen. And that's not even real. That's simply light flashing on a screen. You may see rain. You may see a sunrise. See, when you see it outside, when you see rain outside your window, the real rain, and then you see rain on a screen, which of the two gives you a more satisfying experience? The real rain, right? In many classes, when I do for youth, young boys and girls, I ask them, tell me your 3 happiest experiences. I ask this question, share your 3 happiest experiences. And most of the boys and girls, they say, my happiest experience was when I went for a football match, I played this football game, or I went on this mountainous trek, I went here, I did that, I was with my family. Everybody shares their happy experiences as being with other people. I've not seen anybody say my most happiest experience was when I was watching this Netflix series or I was watching this movie. Very rarely I've seen someone share something of the virtual world as giving them real happy experience. But still, ironically, we are all trapped by this virtual reality, which is not even real. So nowadays, preaching for me as a preacher means last 25 years I've seen myself evolve as a presenter of Krishna consciousness. Nowadays, I don't tell people to move from physical reality to metaphysical reality. My challenge is to push people from virtual reality to physical reality. So I tell people, come on, start eating, sleeping, have proper mating. Live a life of balanced eating, sleeping, mating and defending. Because people are so disconnected. I'll give an example. I was coming from New Delhi. This is just 2 days ago. Yesterday, in fact, I came. So it was an 17-hour direct flight. So I was in the middle seat. So on my left was a Christian lady, an American lady, maybe 65, 70-year-old. She was a grandmother. She was talking to her grandchildren also. The whole time she was chanting on her rosary. And she was praying. I could see she was praying. On my right was a young man. He was maybe 30, 31, 32. I still can't believe it. This is what I saw. 17 hours non-stop. Not once he got up from his seat to go to the washroom. I was like, and he didn't sleep at all. You know what he was doing the whole 17 hours? He had his iPad on. I think he had downloaded a lot of web series. For 17 hours, he was non-stop watching. He was in the virtual reality. The whole time. And at one point of time, I think he was so excited, he also switched on the movie screen on the in front of his seat. And at one point of time, he was watching 2 things. He was so hungry or he was so desperate. I'm looking at him, I'm like, what is wrong with him? But he was 17 hours absorbed. He had transcended his needs for eating and sleeping. Like Parikshit Maharaj was absorbed in Bhagavatam. He was absorbed. So I was thinking, how do I preach to him? What do I tell him? Do I tell him about Krishna or do I tell him, come on, eat, sleep? So initially it was physical reality to metaphysical reality. Now we have to push people from virtual reality to physical reality. It's a challenge. And because all of you are thoughtful, you are intelligent, because you've come to a ISKCON center, you have come to an iconic place, which is a legendary place in ISKCON's history. ISKCON Boston has so many pastimes since 1969. Srila Prabhupada was here. So you are here, you are intelligent, please understand. Spiritual life is very serious business. It's an opportunity for us to end the cycle of birth and death and ask deep questions about life. We need to have this curiosity mindset. What is the goal of life? A seeker mindset. Have you heard of APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president of India? So he's written a book called Ignited Minds. So a few years ago I read that book. So he was very popular with children in India. He would give a lot of lectures to school children. And he was a scientist, former scientist. So he says, he learned from children that we all human beings, grown-up people, we should learn from children to have a curiosity and seeker mentality. He said we should always be explorative and always searching for truth like children. Somewhere as we got older, we became cynical and we buried this tendency. But this verse which we chanted today, Katha Upanishad, is imploring us, come on, wake up, get up, seek this higher path. Like he gives an example. He says in one school he was giving a class, he was giving a talk. There were 5,000 children. And one child asked, Sir, who is the world's first scientist? And Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he says he just spontaneously gave one word answer. And by that answer, there was a thunderous applause in the auditorium. You know what he said? The child asked him what question? Who is the world's first scientist? And Dr. Kalam said, a child is the world's first scientist. Because a child is a seeker. Child is curious. Child is asking questions. See, he says, one child asked him a question. Sir, there is no water in Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. And there's a lot of water in Brahmaputra in Assam. Why not transfer that water to Tamil Nadu? All the water problems will be solved. And he said, I've answered all the questions of children, but this question I could not answer because I was wondering how to tell a child that this lack of water or abundance of water is a state issue. But transferring the water from one state to another state becomes a central government issue. So how do we resolve this? So I couldn't explain to the child. Because for the child, what is the problem? The child is always in a possibility mindset. This is possible. We have to do this. Whereas we grown-ups, because we face the harsh realities of life, we go through kicks and bruises, we start getting cynical. Come on, give up. We're not interested in spiritual life. We are tired of material life. We are like, in what we say in Hindi, Dobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. In Hindi, what that means is, we are neither spiritualist nor successful materialist. We are miserable. So if we have this curiosity mindset, we'll start asking questions. And those questions will catapult us to a spiritual state. Have you heard of Gautam Buddha? How did he become Gautam Buddha? What was the transformation that happened in his life? When he was born, there was a prediction by the astrologer that this person would become a great king or a great saint. So his parents were worried that he may leave home and kingdom. So they buried him with comforts and luxuries. One day Prince Siddhartha told his minister, I want to take a trip to the kingdom. And as he was on a tour of the kingdom, he saw an old man. And he asked his minister, what is this? Because his parents had successfully kept the prince away from any suffering. But when he saw an old man, he asked, and the minister said, everybody has to get old. Then he saw a diseased person. Then he saw a birth somewhere. Then he saw death. He saw a dead body being carried. He learned about Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter says we need to have this vision. We need to see birth, death, old age and disease. And then Prince Siddhartha went through his Prince Siddhartha moment. He had this question about deeper questions of life. Have we ever asked these questions? In ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada has given us answers, but he's also told us to ask questions. If we don't ask questions, the answers won't satisfy us. We need to ask questions also. Srila Prabhupada would often quote Sanatana Goswami, who met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Prabhupada would quote this many times. This is in the Madhya Leela. Sanatana Goswami tells Lord Chaitanya, Ke ami kene amar jarat apatray, grame vyavara kahe pandita kori mani, apanara hita kichu hi na jani. Oh my dear Lord, who am I? Why am I suffering? What is the goal of life? People call me a learned Pandit and I'm a fool. I believe them, but I don't know what is the goal of life. So he was in this mood, inquiry. So we need to have this curiosity mindset, a seeker mindset. Then scriptures will be exciting. When we read a statement of Srila Prabhupada, We need to be curious, not cynical. Like I recently was hearing a class of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada said, so we are devotees in ISKCON, we can chant Hare Krishna whole day and we never get tired. I said, really? Because my experience is, it's not the same. I can't chant the whole day. Now I had a choice of saying, oh, Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Hari Bol. He can chant the whole day. No, it's not for me. Or the other extreme I could go is, well, Prabhupada says, so it's true. Hari Bol, Jai Prabhupada. Both are extremes. I followed the curiosity model. I said, wow, Prabhupada is saying, a devotee can chant the whole day and doesn't feel tired. What is there in the holy name that a person can chant the whole day? What is the magic of holy name? But then I started reading about holy name from Bhagavatam, from Hari Bhakti Suddhodaya. So this mentality, curiosity, seeking, this is what helps us explore and experience deeper spiritual truths. The Bhagavatam implores us, Taseva heto prayate tako vido na labhyate yad brahmatamuparyada talabhyate dukkha vadanyata sukham kale na sarvatra gabhira ramasa. Ramasa means a great force. A great force is coming. Wake up. What is that great force? Kale na sarvatra kala. Time is a great force. Time is going to destroy everything. So what you should do? The Bhagavatam says, Taseva heto prayate tako vido. Work hard, but not for earning bread and butter. Work hard for na labhyate yad brahmatamuparyada. Work hard for that which you can't get even by wandering in all the 14 planetary systems. And that's not happiness. Happiness is available. Talabhyate dukkha vadanyata sukham. Arey, happiness you will anyway get, just like you get distress without asking. Similarly, you will get happiness without asking. Anybody here who's ever prayed, let me face a business loss. Let me meet with an accident. Anybody prays, let my house catch fire. Does anybody pray that let my loved one die? None of us pray like that, but don't these things happen in our life? So the Bhagavatam says similarly, you don't pray, please don't pray for being happy because that also will come as part of your life just like you got distress. Instead, seek something higher. Rishabdev tells his children in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam that human form of life is meant for seeking this higher truth. Nayam deho deya bhajamr loke kastan kaman arhate ved bhujamye tapo divyam putra kayena satvam shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. Human form of life is not meant for working hard like the pigs and the dogs. Kashtan kaman, don't take kashta, don't take struggle like stool-eating pigs. What is human life meant for? Tapo divyam putra kayena satvam. Perform some tapasya, austerities. Seek something higher, by which shuddhyed yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. You can experience deep contentment, deep satisfaction, which is at a spiritual realm, at the metaphysical reality. That way, not only you will be deeply happy, but you will be able to bring light, illumination, joy in the lives of others. So this is one of the beautiful verses which I chanted today from Katha Upanishad. There are like this, there are many verses in the Gita also, 7th chapter. Krishna explains this in great detail, that different kinds of people come to me, but those who seek the truth, tesham jnani nitya yukta. So one who is a seeker, one who is wanting to know the truth, he is most dear to me. So let us practice spiritual life as the way Srila Prabhupada wanted us to. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to ask these questions. When he met Ambarish Prabhu, whom we now know as Ambarish, at that time he was Alfred Ford. He was a great-grandson of Henry Ford, the Ford Empire. So the devotees introduced Alfred Ford and they thought Srila Prabhupada would flatter him, would encourage him, would speak kind words. And Alfred Ford said that most saintly people who met him would flatter him because, wow, such a big man has come. Let me, say something good, pleasing, let me create a good impression. But when he met Srila Prabhupada, the first thing Srila Prabhupada said, the devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, this is Alfred Ford, the great grandson of Henry Ford. Srila Prabhupada said, oh, where is Henry Ford now? Time is so powerful. So Ambarish Prabhu later on recalls, he says that I was so stunned by that statement. I realized the profound wisdom in that statement. When Srila Prabhupada was in Paris, he challenged the French. He told them, Napoleon Bonaparte. He said, France is Napoleon, Napoleon is France. France is still here. Where is Napoleon? That was a challenge. Srila Prabhupada challenged them to think deeper and ask questions about life and death. So let us embark on a spiritual journey. I pray and hope that the Sunday feast classes here at ISKCON Boston Temple, at the shelter of Radha Gopi Vallabha, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Gaur Nitai, marks an auspicious beginning of your spiritual life, your spiritual quest, and you develop a personal relationship with Lord Krishna, the most all-attractive personality, and rediscover your love for the Lord. Just like Srila Prabhupada said, the water in its natural state is liquid, but unfortunately it has become ice. Let us practice chanting and hearing and serving devotees and allow those artificial barriers, which is ice-like, to melt away. And let us rediscover our natural position of loving devotional service to Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any questions or comments regarding today's discussion? We'll take your question first and then Prabhu. Yes. And
So, Prabhu, I started coming to ISKCON like 8-9 months back, and honestly, it changed me so much. I started eating non-veg, and all. I don't do 6 rounds. I started with a couple of rounds. Now, my question is, sometimes it's very great. I feel that excitement about Krishna, and there's some days, as you said, that curiosity brings me back to what we have learned. We keep going to science book and keep questioning the scriptures, what we read, and that comparison, that curiosity is so harmful sometimes. I feel so fallen that sometimes I question, the entire existence of all the concepts. I really feel very guilty about it. As you said, it's Dobika Kuttana Garkana Gatka, and how to get out of that guilt, how to have that, build that faith and stop questioning about what we have learned. It's all about those questions. For example, you learned about the theory of evolution, dinosaurs and all that, and then you see, where is it? Where do you find all this? Is it all real? And it's very guilty feeling. So
guilty about?
About questioning altogether the truth of the spiritual journey.
Yeah. So your question is, how do we come out of this?
Yes.
Is that the question? See, one of the most amazing, most powerful but unexplored tools in spiritual practice, we didn't have time to discuss that in detail, is service. When we render service, lot of things get resolved. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, he was running an ashram in Kolkata. At that time, one of the most famous personalities in India was Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, who is incidentally also one of the first men to get Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award in India, was the founder of the Banaras Hindu University. From the age of 3, Madan Mohan Malviya was a student of Srimad Bhagavatam. He would do Bhagavad Katha. He was also a prolific, a most successful criminal lawyer. At the age of 40, he gave up practice of law. He was the most successful lawyer in India, very celebrated lawyer. He gave up law practice to absorb himself in Bhagavatam. After 12 years of giving up law, Mahatma Gandhi, who had started his non-cooperation movement, faced resistance, and there was a big violent incident where Congress party workers burnt a police station. And 150 people were arrested and sentenced to death. So the Congress party requested Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya to fight the case for these workers. And Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya said, I have given up everything. I haven't practiced law for 14 years now. 14 years I haven't practiced law. I'm out of touch. I'm only reading Bhagavatam. So the Congress party said, no, no, no. You are our savior. Please come to the court. You can save our 150 innocent men. So Madan Mohan Malviya took up the challenge. He entered the court. And so forceful were his arguments that Justice Grimwood Mayers, who was the Chief Justice, who was the one presiding over the proceedings, he was so impressed by Madan Mohan Malviya's presentation that 5 times during the entire trial, he got up from his seat and bowed his head in reverence to Madan Mohan Malviya, a British judge honoring an Indian lawyer. So powerful he was that he managed to acquit all the 150 people. So convincing was his presentation. So why I'm giving this background? This Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, who became a legend after this Chauri Chaura incident where he fought the case, he walked into Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur's ashram, Gaudiya Math. He said, I have some doubts on Bhagavatam I want to discuss with you. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said, I am very busy today. Can you discuss with my disciples? This is shocking because Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was a household name in India. Everybody wanted his audience. And Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur very nonchalantly told him, I am busy, meet my young disciples who were less than half his age. Madan Mohan Malviya, they were younger than him. So he was humble enough. He said, okay. He went to the disciples. He said, can you please explain Bhagavatam to me? The disciples said, oh, Madan Mohan Malviya ji, Pandit ji, we are busy washing pots in the temple. Can you please join us for some time? After that, we can sit and discuss. Again, his humility was being tested. He said yes. And he joined these young men in cleaning the pots and the temple. And after 2 hours of service, they sat down, they took prasad. After the whole thing, the devotees said, yes, Pandit ji, what are your questions? He had a big beaming smile. He said, I am completely satisfied. All my doubts have vanished. So Srila Prabhupada had quoted this incident to explain the power of service. So sometimes these doubts, we go through what is called as paralysis by analysis. We keep analyzing and we go crazy. But when we do service, we get higher taste. I experienced it practically. One of the top psychologists in Mumbai, he was the top medical student. We used to go to this medical college for preaching. I used to carry khichdi, halwa. Gauranga Prabhu used to go and give lectures and we used to go. And this boy, before the class would end, he would ask 5 questions. Before the answer would end, the next question. So a lot of questions. So one day before he asked his question, Gauranga Prabhu said, wait. Oh Deepak ji, can you do me one favor? We have this Barsana eye camp. We are going to these villages in Uttar Pradesh and doing cataract operations. Why don't you join? You are a doctor. Why don't you spend 1 month serving the villagers, our medical team? He was game. He said, okay. He went and after 1 month when he came back to the class as usual, Gauranga Prabhu's class got over. Any questions? Everybody looked at him, anticipating he is going to, as usual, ask questions, and he had no question. He was just smiling. And Gauranga Prabhu said, come on, Deepak ji, what questions you have? Prabhu, no questions. Totally satisfied. Service is a game changer. Okay? Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu? You had something to say.
My question is about virtual reality.
Ah.
Shouldn't we apply to Krishna service? I can imagine someone watching 17 hours Krishna's movies and lectures instead of... so why do we criticize and say, well, this is bad, we should reject, we should just convert it?
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what Rupa Goswami says. Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Instruction that, Nectar of Devotion, he says that, Anasakta se vishanataram upayunjata nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. Vairagya is to use everything in Krishna's service. So definitely, I fully agree with you. In fact, I'm using this smartphone myself. It's helpful. So we're not criticizing the smartphone. My concern is 2 things. Are we using the smartphone or is the smartphone using us? If you're using the smartphone, great. But unfortunately, we begin with the intention of using it in Krishna's service, but then this starts using us. That's where we need to be careful. That's one point. Second, the ones who invented this and created this, there was an energy in them. This was created not to increase and improve our spiritual life. The original intention of this was to enhance sense gratification. So, So this will carry that Maya power, the energy of distraction in a very veritable, it's a veritable challenge, it's a real challenge. So although this is to be used in Krishna's service, but with the best of intentions, we can slip because this is extremely powerful. Earlier, people had to spend money, time, and energy. They had to go out of their way to break the four regulative principles. Now, everything is there on the smartphone. Phew, this is crazy. So, when we got this, the first thing we brahmacharis did was we have got all these parental apps and all that installed in such a way that there are 4 people who know what I do on this phone. They get a report every week. I can do what I want on this, but every week they get an email saying that your child, they are my parents. One of them is my student. So like that. So everybody is made, we have to create systems for protection. I mean, we are living with an extremely dangerous weapon which can help us in preaching, but to be very honest, I've seen a lot of damage happen because of this also. So we are just warning people. We are not. I'm not against smartphone. Otherwise, I won't be using it myself, right? We're not against smartphone, but I'm glad you said this. We want to use this for Krishna's service. It's great if we can sit and watch Krishna's lectures, YouTube. There are so many lectures. Like yesterday, I was giving a talk in the evening. I was mentioning a few lectures of Srila Prabhupada, which I had heard on YouTube. So yes, that facility is there. But if you're not careful, it can create havoc. Because there are other things also, right? I mean, you know better what's there on the internet. And I've seen some unfortunate things happen. I saw one 13-year, I read about it. I know about one 13-year-old boy who sexually assaulted his own sister, younger sister, because he was just addicted to pornography. He went crazy. I'm like, what happened to him? This young boy, nobody to control him, nobody to check. So these are real challenges people are facing because of smartphone. And inordinate amount of time spent on these gadgets. It's a challenge. We have to be humble, sober, and use it judiciously under the guidance and blessings of devotees. We can't be overconfident. This is my feeling. The attention span. When I joined the ashram, we could sit for 4-hour classes. Like, when the class was going on by my Guru Maharaj, even other speakers on a festival day, sometimes we would get bored. Sometimes we would get bored or tired because we're not pure devotees. But we had no choice. We would just continue to sit in the class. Maybe a short power nap in the class. But we would be there. We were comfortable being uncomfortable. We were comfortable with boredom. We were comfortable not being stimulated. But nowadays, if you are bored, if you're distracted, if you're feeling unexcited, you are just 2 seconds away from getting stimulated, getting excited, getting agitated. People don't know. Nowadays, people are completely unfamiliar with boredom. They just can't. They don't know how to embrace pain. They don't know how to live with not being excited and stimulated. Everything. It's a dopamine rush all the time. And spiritual practices are practiced in a sober state. Sattva guna. So this is very, very rajasic and tamasic. It carries an energy. So I know this can be used in Krishna's service, but so that's why nowadays they make YouTube reels, 1 minute reels, because they know people don't have the patience to watch even 1 hour of class. They want something quick, instant gratification. They keep moving their finger. I think their finger walks 10 kilometers a day. And you take the mobile out of the hands of a child, it's like taking that oxygen mask from a person in the ICU. The children get so agitated when you take the phone away from them. So yeah, it's a challenge, Prabhu. Yes, Mata.
So just follow up and you actually ask the question. going into the question about children, right? Because they do want excitement all the time. They want stimulation all the time. And I see that in the children in my own home also, right? Every 2 minutes they can't sit in one place, which is normal, but some excitement is there. Everything is boring. So how do we train them? And they don't have their own phone.
Yeah.
I haven't even given them their own smartphone, but still then they want our phone, things like that.
Yeah, I have not been a parent, but I know many parents who have answered this question of yours. They have said two things which have struck me. One is, if you don't practice tough love, if you don't actually keep your child away from the phone when he's 4, if you don't do it when the child is 4 or 5, it will be impossible for you to do when the child is 14 or 15. So it's now or never. That is one. Second, one of the important aspects of raising a child, training a child, especially those parents who have done homeschooling for their children, one of the most important lessons they teach is every day. I know one Padia family in Bombay, very close to them. Both children went through homeschooling. They are doing very well in life now. One amazing part of their training was every day these children were given half an hour they would sit in the hall, half an hour, and they had to do nothing. Half an hour of doing nothing. That was part of the education. I mean, they had to just sit. They're like, oh, I want the phone, I want this. No, just sit, think, let the mind wander, relax. Creativity flourishes in such a space. So we don't know how to do nothing. I was sitting in the ashram terrace just last month. And I was just breathing, relaxing. So one young brahmachari came up to me. So I've been in the ashram for 25 years. I'm part of the management team. So there was an important emergency meeting called. And he said, Prabhu, you're expected in the meeting. I said, I can't come. He said, why? Are you busy right now? He said, no, right now. What are you doing? He asked me. I said, I'm doing nothing. He said, what? So you must be memorizing verses, because I quote a lot of Bhagavad Gita verses in my classes. I said, no, I'm not memorizing verses. He said, no, Prabhu, you must be. He couldn't understand the concept of doing nothing. So he said, oh, you must be praying to Krishna. I'm not really praying, but I wanted to agitate him. I said, I'm doing nothing. He said, what do you mean? I said, Prabhu. Then I gave him a great philosopher's advice. I said, Prabhu, it requires a lot of hard work to do nothing. We are used to agitating ourselves. So you can help the children. You know what? One of the amazing thing is, you can try this with children. Every night before they sleep, you can ask them. This can be a homework for life. I do it every night before sleeping. I'm 51, but this exercise which I do brings out the child in me. Every night I do this. I take a deep breath. What was story worthy today? Is there anything I heard or saw or experienced which is worth a story? So then I think hard, I get some story, then I write it in 1 or 2 lines just so that in future I can remember what it is. Like for example, tonight my story worthy would be, today somebody fed me ecstatic North Indian parathas, but there was a twist to the story. These parathas were ecstatic, but I'm a South Indian. And another Mataji prepared authentic South Indian rasam. So it never happens in India. I was having parathas with rasam. And then I remembered last month, one South Indian friend of mine fed me pizzas on a banana leaf. So now I have a story which I am going to write about how in ISKCON only this can happen, where you can be served pizzas on a banana leaf and you are served parathas with rasam. So now you may say it's mundane, ordinary. Yes, but that awakens the child in me. I got a story. So 3 years later, when I see my old file, I see this incident, it brings a smile on my face. So why I'm saying this is for children, children they have a mind for stories. So you trigger the creativity juices in them, take it out. So they are always looking out for stories the whole day. And a time will come when they'll not be excited. The smartphone won't excite them as much as real things, real experiences. It's a challenge, Mataji. I know what you're going, what parents go through. It's easy for me to give a discourse on that. But I can connect you to parents who are practicing all of this. Like this Padia family, their children, Janvi and Gautam, they're 22, 21, so pure. They've grown in the devotee community, homeschooling. They're normal children, they watch movies, good movies, they work, they study, they know all the Gita by heart, memory. They are like healthy, normally, socially functional children without addiction to smartphone. So yeah, it's possible. So this is one technique I said. There are many other things we could do. Children love stories. So you make them discover stories. Like last night I wrote this story of this friend, this boy on the plane. The whole details of how he was watching the movies and watching two screens and not eating. So that's like an amazing story. See, I could speak that story today in the class. I had not planned it. I just brought my verses book. But stories come out, So I feel children would love stories. You tell them stories and encourage them to tell stories. Then smartphone would fade away, It would. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, we'll take a question.
Prabhuji was talking about meditation, that's when I remembered. So when some of the youngsters are actively taking part in spiritual movements and doing something and believing in God, and so there are other set of in the same generation youths who bring sarcasm about it.
Yeah.
So this incident recently happened to me. So I was looking for a job, and then I used to visit here ISKCON, sit and pray. It was not like I'm praying him like give me a job, but I was trying to get that focusing energy in me. So once I got a job and I went out with my friends, and it was like a bar cum restaurant environment. And one of my junior just asked me like what steps did I take to take up a job. So another friend who jumped in and said sarcastically like, just go to ISKCON, sit there, you will get a job. So I didn't know how to react, like should I get angry or should I reply to that or just keep quiet. But that's there in my mind, like when somebody, brings that's like a anger in me in some ways, like you don't even know what spirituality is, what God is, then you are making such statements, and in another way you're bringing the false perception about, you just go and sit there and pray to God and you will get a job. So I'm just trying to understand in such situations, what would Krishna tell us or Srila Prabhupada would
Want us to do.
Yes.
See, Krishna consciousness, we didn't have time to discuss this in detail today. It's all about a personal relationship with Krishna. If just like you're asking me now this question, like the way you asked me, there was clarity, there was coherence, and you had eloquence. You knew what you were asking, right? This is exactly what you need to present to the Lord, Radha Gopi Vallabha. Gopi Vallabha? Radha Gopi Vallabha and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra and Gaur Nitai. Present this to them in first person. My dear Lord, what should I feel? What should I do? I get agitated when I see this. So when we do this, even if a problem gets solved or not solved, but you come closer to the Lord. And that solves a much bigger problem. So even in such situations, you would be peaceful. And your colleagues would see that this person is not agitated. We are trying our best to agitate her. But she seems to be, because you are in a space of a personal relationship with Krishna. And then Krishna says in the Gita, 10th chapter, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will give you the intelligence to respond to these provocative situations. It's very personal. I can't give you an answer. Even if I give you an answer, ultimately it's between you and Krishna. Krishna has to guide you. So come to Krishna. Present this as a problem that you're facing. Krishna, I love you. Krishna, please help me. I get agitated. Krishna, I want to come closer to you. So when you offer your emotions, you'll see Krishna reciprocate. Do you know Burijan Prabhu, Jagat Tarini Mataji, one of the senior most leaders in ISKCON? So they are counselors, they are gurus, and they say Krishna Balramji is the original counselor. They declare this. But they say anybody has problems, they need counseling, they tell that girl or boy, come in front of Balramji in Vrindavan, Krishna Balram temple. So this is their formula. Come in front of Balramji and tell your problem. And many people, in 1 week, they have seen that their issues have got resolved. They've got clarity, guidance. Balramji guides them. How it happens, and it's your personal journey. Do it. So come to the Lord, present this, and you'll get guidance from within. And even if you don't get clear answers, even if you live in ambiguity, at least because you experience Krishna's presence in your heart, you will be able to handle all these office situations. You won't get agitated. In fact, I know one devotee like you who's working, and in office everybody would make fun of him. And now everybody in his office respects him. You know how the transformation happened? Because when they started making fun of him and being sarcastic, he stopped responding. And he would smile back and not say anything. And they would ask him questions about ISKCON. He would say, you guys won't understand, forget it. He wouldn't answer. He would keep an aura of mystery around ISKCON activities. On 31st evening, as a whole office, people were planning a party. Half an hour before they left, he went to the washroom in his office and put on dhoti kurta tilak. And he took on his bag and he said, guys, bye, I'm leaving. Where are you leaving? We have a New Year party. New Year party? ISKCON guys, you're doing party? Yes. What is it about? You won't understand. So like that, he would be ahead of them and he would not tell them many things about ISKCON. So now 3 or 4 people from his office are devotees. They're chanting. Because he created that, that you guys, you don't deserve to know. I mean, you're like, it's too high for you, So he created an aura of mystery. See, when we are desperate to preach, then we have an approval-seeking behavior. We want everybody to approve of what we are doing. So we become desperate, and then people see our weakness, and then they make fun of us. So you need to have a let-go attitude, you need to be safe where what you are doing. So this requires connection with Krishna. When Krishna inspires you, gives you that love, sense of belongingness, you'll be able to navigate through these office challenges better. And then you will be happy in that situation, trust me. Because your face, the glow in your face, your joy, that will be palpable. Your colleagues would know that this lady, she has something which we don't have. They'll come, they'll chase you. Tell us what you're doing. And you'll be like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm busy, maybe tomorrow. It works. I've seen so many places it works. Okay? Should we stop here, Prabhu? Or is there any other? Okay. Any other questions, comments? No. Or one last comment can we take? Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Last. Yes.
My question was regarding your point on earlier when Srila Prabhupada, he was trying to take devotees from physical reality to metaphysical reality. And now with the evolution, because
Devolution.
Devolution, we are trying to give them virtual reality to physical reality, and then the hope is from physical to metaphysical reality. So my question was more with respect to successes and some statistics, or typically how an engineer or a mathematician would think, okay, this path is there is x1 and x2 deviation. And then there is some deviation of trying to preach, and maybe there is some success directly from virtual reality to metaphysical reality.
Yes.
So we have seen Srila Prabhupada having tremendous success of Srila Prabhupada disciples taking from physical to metaphysical reality. So my question is, in your observation, what is the duration from virtual to physical and physical to metaphysical reality? How long would it take? Because there's a question of timing and duration also about how.
Yes, I'm not qualified to answer this. I'm struggling myself as a preacher. But I have a lot of faith in Satam Kripa, mercy and blessings of devotees. It's the blessings and prayers of devotees. We are in Boston. What an important. Okay, there's a beautiful pastime that happened here. That may answer your question. How a journey happens from virtual reality to metaphysical reality. Our hope is prayers and blessings of devotees. So all of you know His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, legend of Boston. He became a devotee here. So he says a very interesting pastime. When he was a young boy, Srila Prabhupada came to Boston University where he was studying. And Srila Prabhupada was giving a class. And he was a young boy. He asked a question. Swamiji, how can one find a real guru? And Srila Prabhupada looked at him straight into the eyes and said, That depends whether you want to be God or you want to be servant of God. And he pointed his finger like this. And Giriraj Maharaj was a young college boy and he was shocked at the answer. And he felt Srila Prabhupada was a mystical person who knew something which nobody else knew. Which is, this young boy, in his hostel, in his room where he was staying, he had kept a big poster of a saint, a Buddhist monk, who had a finger pointed like this. And below it was written, "You are God." So he was wondering, how does this saintly Swamiji know that I have a poster like this where it says, "You are God." And Prabhupada is saying, you want to be God or you want to be servant of God? So he was a little shaken. And then Prabhupada answered somebody else's question, and this happened. And then after 3 years, Prabhupada came back again to Boston. And by this time, this young boy was Giriraj Das Brahmachari in dhoti, kurta, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. He was baptized completely. And he was chanting, dancing. And in the class, he asked a question this time again, after 3 years. And when Srila Prabhupada looked at him, and Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, I remember you." Everybody was shocked. Giriraj Maharaj was also shocked. He said, "Prabhupada, remember?" Prabhupada said, "I remember you. When I was here last time, you asked me a question. At that time, I prayed to Krishna. Krishna, this is such a nice boy. Please make him a devotee." So Giriraj Maharaj says, then I understood why I became a devotee. I was thinking last 3 years I'm chanting, I've become a devotee. This is called Satam Kripa. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this is the most powerful principle by which one becomes a devotee. So now I'll tell you why I'm saying this. To bring a person from virtual reality to metaphysical reality, we are not Prabhupads, okay? But I have this practice of writing a prayer for 5 people every day in the morning. So I write one name. Like today morning, I wrote the names of, the 2 devotee families with whom I'm interacting since yesterday morning I came to Boston. I wrote their names. Then a prayer against their name. Krishna, please, is a common 2 words I use against every name. And then the third I wrote was Sundaranand, Devakanandan Prabhu is in New Jersey. Devakanandan Prabhu. Krishna, please, cure him of his disease. Going through some neurological some disease. So please cure him immediately and let him resume his services. Like that. 5 names and a prayer against each name. Krishna, please. Not because I am a pure devotee, but just because I am a product of, I went through a lot of difficulties in my own life, and I know it's because of the love and blessings and good wishes of devotees that I was saved. So as a reciprocation, I write a small prayer for others. So just imagine we all pray for each other. And we don't have to, we all contribute to the culture, the energy of sending out love, good wishes. What an impact it would have. And I'll tell you a true story, and we'll end with this. I was in London last year. This convinced me the power of prayers and helping a person come from virtual reality to metaphysical reality. This is an unbelievable story. I was with Pandav Sena. You know Pandav Sena? London. So UK, they are very active. So they go for a retreat every year. So they are going to New Mayapur, France. So I was at that that station in London. What is that? So I forget. That is a famous Harry Potter King's Cross, platform 9 3/4. They took me to the yatra, that holy place. They said, "Prabhuji, embrace this pillar. This is a." They kind of told me a lot about Harry Potter. Anyway, so there we were waiting for this youth to come for the yatra, and the chairman of Pandasena is telling me, "Prabhu, do you see that girl?" So there was an 18, 19-year-old girl also. I said, "Yeah." She was a British girl. I forget her name, Victoria or Elizabeth, one of. So I said, "Yeah, Prabhu, she's coming for our yatra." I said, "So?" She doesn't know anything about ISKCON. What? Because I was told that in this 10 days yatra, I have to speak every day, morning and evening, pure Ramayana. The whole Ramayana Katha I was supposed to speak from Ayodhya Kand, Bal Kand to Yuddha Kand. And all these Pandasena boys and girls who were coming for the yatra knew something about India, Ramayana, Hinduism. Now this girl comes along. She's coming first time. I said, "But how did you get her?" She said, "Prabhu, yesterday we were at the bus stop. This girl walks up to us and she says, 'What is this you guys have on your neck?' We said, 'These are neck beads.' 'What are you guys?' So we said, 'We are from Pandav Sena.' And immediately she Googled Pandav Sena and she said, 'Oh, you guys are going for some retreat tomorrow?' And we said, 'Yes.' 'Can I join you guys?' We said, 'Yes.' So now she's here. I felt, I can't dilute I am going to speak Ramayana. So he said, Prabhu, you just be yourself, we'll take care of her. But I said, no, but I'm worried, I'll have to entertain her, I'll have to speak in a way that she understands, but how do I do it? So then I was and because I have this practice of writing a prayer, so every morning, I would write Victoria. I would write her name first, then I would say, Krishna, please let her not get bewildered in the yatra. So every day, one sentence, one prayer was common. One person was common in my everyday prayers. Victoria was common. So at the end of 9th day, I was shocked. This girl, I was looking at her every day, seeing if she's okay, and she was like, okay, because Mangalarti was compulsory, so she would be there, and I would see she was a little sleepy and all that. But at the 9th day, the end of the yatra, she comes in a sari, and she says, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I said, Hare Krishna. And she's telling me, Prabhu, I'm so happy. I said, are you okay with all these discourses on Ramayana? Oh, Ramayana is amazing. Ram is so nice. Hanuman is so sweet. She's and just imagine what is the probability that a young British girl would glorify Hanuman, and she loves Ram. I was like so happy. I felt, you're not bewildered by all this, morning program, you have to get up early in the morning. She said, no, I love the way you guys, you dress a plant with a skirt, and she was referring to Tulsi Ma. She was super, so she was really very happy. And then I was quietly happy because I was remembering her every day in the morning. I'm not taking any credit for it. I'm just saying the whole idea of praying for others, that energy of love that you share. And then I asked Ram a few weeks ago, how is that girl doing? Because I'm not in touch. This year I didn't go for the Pandavasena retreat because of some family issues. So he told me that, Prabhu, you would be amazed. She attends every Friday our classes, and now she's chanting 6 rounds. I think every 6 or 7 rounds she chants every day. A British girl is a Pakka Hare Krishna devotee now. So I'm just saying that, if we all pray for each other, we all need it, right? We all need blessings. We all have so many areas of vulnerability, so many weak points. And we have a dark side that we are grappling with. We can't do it on our own. So just like somebody has helped us come here, let us pray for them. Yeah. I'll stop here, Prabhu. But it's a very intense topic. I'm struggling a lot in my preaching. Like nowadays, I get young boys and girls in my weekly classes in Mumbai. They have depression and they have incest. So many problems. It's like I never knew this kind of problems existed when I joined the ashram. So I don't know Prabhupada, but Prabhupada is amazing. He'll pick up, just like he picked us up from where we were. I'm sure he has a plan. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gopi Vallabh Bhagwan ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai, ISKCON Boston Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.